So currently, this little guy has got a big price on his head. At least he has if I want to send him out to America, which is something that I actually wanted to do very recently, but due to something called tariffs, you might have heard of them, it's basically impossible. And after speaking to a couple of my friends in the toy world, both toy makers and toy sellers, about how it's affected them as well, I was kind of inspired to talk about it all in a Slimehouse episode. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I don't get political over here at Slimehouse TV. Politics is not something that I try and interweave through what I do with the channel. As much as I think it's important to have spaces online that you can go to find out about what's going on in the world and hear people's opinions on it, I also think it's as equally valuable to have places you can go to that are completely free from all that when you just want to get away from it. And I think that both those kinds of places are both equally as important, especially online. But this was something that basically affected me recently with the toy making, what I do. And after speaking to a few of my friends in the toy making world, all that do stuff very differently, all was still affected by these tariffs in one way or another. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of do like an old school Toy Talk Tuesday type of episode where I just vent my thoughts on something, tell you about something that's happened, talk about something topical in the toy world, and then find out your opinion on it. So up until recently, if I sent a parcel to America, providing it were marked at being worth less than $800, the person that I was sending it to didn't have to worry about paying any import fees. They wouldn't have to worry about any additional charges once they'd paid for the toy. Once they'd paid the postage, the only thing that they had to worry about was that parcel arriving safely. But as of August 29th, 2025, that's all changed. That rule has now been completely scrapped. And basically, any parcel that gets sent to America, big or small, will get hit with an import fee, with very few exceptions. Now, this obviously affects everybody in America and outside that's wanting to post there. Posting anything, receiving anything, not just people in the toy world. And there's probably 1,000 other people online talking about this in much more depth, talking about the facts in a lot more thorough detail. If anything, I'm kind of late to the party. But I wanted to talk about it from my own personal experience, from my toy world perspective, and how it recently, very much messed up some plans that I had to be able to put some toys out to you lot, the Slimehouse supporters and the Slimehouse community. And like I said, I've also got some other friends in the toy world, in two completely different areas of the toy world, that are both equally feeling the burn of these tariffs and this whole situation. So last year, myself and my friend Vega Relics got together and produced the first ever Slimehouse Sofubi. We made 50 of them, they were a real hit, and all the ones that we put online for sale sold out in 24 hours. People really did like this toy, and we ended up posting them out all over the world, with lots of them going to America. Now, since then, we've been asked many times, are we going to make any more? Are we going to do a different colourway? Are we going to do a different variant? And although it's not something that we kind of got around to doing just yet, it's definitely something that's been on our minds and something that we wanted to do because, yeah, not only do people want them, there's going to be people that want a different colour, a different variation of Turgo, and there's also people that have discovered the Slimehouse brand and the Slimehouse channel after I put them out and after they've all sold out, so it would be nice to be able to get one into their collections as well. Now, although we haven't made any new ones yet, when we made the 50, we did hold a couple back, and Vega basically had 3 unpainted blank ones. So he recently thought, because he's not done anything with them, he could do a run of 3 exclusive colourways, do a single paint job on each one, and then put them out for sale on Instagram. So it would give people a chance to maybe buy a new colourway, or get one in the collection of somebody that missed out the first time. So that's what he did. He painted 3 exclusive ones, they looked really cool, and we aimed to put them on Instagram. I even told all my Patreons over on Discord that these were coming out. I said I can't hold them for you, I can't give you exclusive access to get in a queue in advance or anything like that, but if you are interested in owning one, then this is the date that they're going online. And there were so many people on there on my Discord that were like, oh yeah, we definitely want to get involved with this. Basically, these 3 that we made had sold already. Regardless of who got them, they were all going to be sold because there was enough demand and we was only doing 3 of them. Bear in mind though, like I said, when we sold the Turgo Sofubis before, a lot of them went to America. So yeah, they were basically all sold already. Unfortunately though, for those people that wanted them, and unfortunately for us, the day that we put them on Instagram was 2 days after these new tariffs had been introduced. And because they were high-end items and because they were priced at a certain price point, there was just no way that anybody in America could afford to buy one and then deal with the import charges. Import charges that they would have inevitably had to pay. Also, I didn't even really want to send them to America because the price that they would have had to pay would have been like double or triple or even more what the Turgos were worth in the first place, and I just didn't feel good about that. Now, one of my Patreons that wanted one was actually living in England, so he was able to get one and he was really happy with it and it looked really cool in his collection. It was just sad that the other people that wanted them were in America and we was unable to provide them a Turgo. And being a collector and knowing what it's like when you want something and you've got the money there and you can't get it, I get it. Like, and it genuinely made me feel bad that we couldn't get them out there. Now, I couldn't say how much exactly they would have got charged, but it would have been a lot. And anytime I look, I find like conflicting information. It all depends what courier picks it up when it gets to America. It all depends what it's marked as. A bunch of different things that's way over my head and way too complex for me to deep dive into, and anytime I try, it's all conflicting information. Like, it feels like an absolute minefield whether you'll get charged 20% or 200%, like I just don't know. But either way, I think it's safe to say that sending anything to America, whether it's big or whether it's small, at the minute just isn't it, especially if you're a small creator like me that's just trying to like send out a little small batch run to people that want to support what you're doing. Now, I've been talking for quite a while that I've got a big trip planned somewhere soon. I've got a big project that I'm gearing up for, and one of the things that I wanted to do to help raise some money, some funds towards that, is do another run of resin toys. A couple of years ago, Rainbow Yawn, my friend, and me, we got together and we put out some small resin Turgos, the original Turgos that we did. Again, they were really popular, and again, we sold a lot to America. And I basically wanted to do another similar thing to that, do some of Crushroom, which is one of the first characters that I ever sculpted on this channel. It's one that's been sat there for a while. People want to get a toy of it, and I'm wanting to put it out. So quietly in the background, I've been working on a prototype of this figure, and I wanted to cast them in resin and do like a small run. And it's basically this part of the year, this time, just a few months before I go away, that I wanted to do that release as a bit of a sleeper drop and then put all the funds that were raised from it towards this project that I'm currently gearing up for. But obviously now, because of the tariffs, I'm unable to do it. Because even if I made these and when I sent them out to America, I put the price at next to nothing, like the price point is worth just £20. When I'm looking online, I'm seeing people get charged anything from $20 to $80 to $200 just on a small parcel this big that's worth £20. Like, yeah, it's insane. Which means that not only am I unable to make any small runs of toys and get them out to my people over in America that want them in their collection, but basically the money that I was going to get from those toys, I can no longer put into the budget of this project that I'm putting forward. So I'm out of pocket, they're unable to get the toys that they want, and I'm just a little small creator trying to just put some cool stuff out into the world. I'm not like a big mainstream business or anything like that. I'm just one guy who runs a YouTube channel and makes little toys now and then. Bear in mind though as well, this is also the same if you just wanted to send a small shoebox of gifts to a family member or a friend out in the States, which is something that I do quite often. A few times a year, me and my friends in America send each other a little care package. I'll put some toys in there that they need for the collection. I'll throw in some British snacks, some Monster Munch, some dairy milk, that kind of thing, and it's always a lot of fun and they really like it. I just don't think they like it enough to pay $200 on top of what I'm sending them. Like, dairy milk is good, but it's not that good. Now, like I said, this affects anybody that's in America, anybody that's living there, anybody that's wanting to post there, not just in my little toy world with my first world problems, but continuing with the theme of toy people and how it's affecting them. I was recently speaking to one of my friends, a fellow toy maker who doesn't live in America, who makes primarily Sofube, and he is booked to stand at DCon in Vegas at the end of November. Now, DCon is a big designer toy event. It has Sofube, it has art toys. For many people, it's a staple of the Sofube and the art toy world. It's like ToyCon that I go to. I've never been to DCon, but obviously I've seen videos. I know people that go there, and it's massive. And for many toy designers and many toy makers, it's imperative that they have a presence there. But obviously, in order to have a stall at DesignerCon, if you don't live in America, you've got to ship all your stock, all your Sofube over there before, so when you get there, it's all ready for you to put it on a stall and sell it. Now with the tariffs, that's not as easy as it was before. So I was talking to my friend and I was asking him, oh, are you excited for DCon? Because normally he would be, and he was like, no, like I'm cooked, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He needs to send over a couple of boxes, a couple of suitcases, whatever, of Sofube. And if you think about the price point of one Sofube and how much you could get taxed on top of that, like imagine 30, 40 Sofube, like it's insane. And currently him and a bunch of other people, I assume, have no idea how they're going to get all their toys over there safely without having to pay an extortionate price and just make the whole event, like, not even worth going to. Like, you're better off just avoiding it because you're going to be so out of pocket, it's insane. Like, out of pocket by potentially thousands. Now, completely adjacent to that, but still within the toy world, I've got a friend who owns a company that designs toys for some of the biggest companies in the world. You think of some of the biggest toy brands in the world, and he's designed toys for them. But a lot of those companies that would go to him and his company and ask him to design them toys, obviously get their toys made in China, which is in America. So if you're getting a bunch of toys made in China, you've then got to get them posted over to the States. And there's always been import fees on this kind of thing. You'll think if you've got like a shipping container bigger than this room, full of toys that's all going to America, obviously you're going to get an import fee on top of them. But this year, that's gone up another 10%, another 20% or more from what I can see. So currently, there's a ton of companies with stock in China that they've had made that they can't afford to have shipped over to America. It's just not worth it. So this is now just taking up space in China and in places like China, and there's shipping docks that's full of these big shipping containers, and from what I can see, it's not just thousands, it's hundreds of thousands just sat there waiting to be sent back to America. So as a result of that, because these companies are now out of pocket, they're having to cut costs in other ways. So my friend who has a company that designs toys for these other big companies has had pretty much in a week or a weekend or something like that when all this got announced, like half of their contracts either cut or put on hold, all again because of the tariffs. Which is obviously a shame, because not only does that mean that they're not getting the contracts, so they're not getting paid for them, but no doubt they were all really cool contracts with legit companies, so it's something that they're not able to do now. So it's just a kick in the teeth for everybody that's involved. Now, there has been a few times in the last few months where they've implemented truces so that some of those shipping containers can make their way to the US and they will get charged, but not the full whack. But this is only temporary. Companies are still getting charged and it's not going to last, so it's still a problem. Now, like I said, these are just a few examples within the toy world of people like myself and my friends who are feeling the sting of this thing. And luckily for me, I don't just put out toys and sell them or anything like that. To be honest, it's something that I do a couple of times a year, if that. But it is at least something that, for me personally, is the first time that something in another country has affected me and what I do here in England, in Slimehouse TV, in my little studio. It's the first time that it's really happened. Now, I do get why tariffs exist. I think from when I've looked into it, it's to save the American economy, and it means that there's not just a bunch of cheap tech getting sent over there, or fast fashion taking up landfill, or fake Labubu's, or whatever else gets sent over there in masses that floods the economy, and hopefully means that people spend money within the country and not just go online and buy cheap stuff. I think that's what it means. I think that's the benefits of it. But obviously, with how much it's affected people like myself and other people that I know, and from what I've seen, I think it's safe to say, whether you're for or against the tariffs, we can all agree that it probably needs a little bit of revision. Now, like I said, luckily for me, I don't just make toys and send them to America. I don't just make physical toys. I do a lot of 3D sculpting and things. So there's nothing stopping me from doing like a small STL run. But I think we can all agree within the toy world, there's a big difference between a 3D file that you've printed yourself, whether it be in FDM or resin, as opposed to something that's been hand cast in toy resin, or a Sofubi that's been made in a factory. I also understand that not everybody's got a 3D printer, and also, how long is it going to be before they tax digital files and STLs and stuff? Like, who knows? I wouldn't put anything past the world right now. So I don't have any conclusion to this discussion or anything like that. I don't think anybody does. It's just me kind of just thinking out loud and discussing this with my people. And I'd be interested to know what you think about it. Have you experienced the tariffs? Have they worked for you? Do you own a business and you're earning more money now? Has it affected you in a bad way? I'd like to know. So I'm just going to open up the comments, open up the floor to you lot to see what you think. Obviously, keep it civil, keep it positive. Like I said, I don't like to bring politics into Slimehouse. I like this to be a nice, safe space, a nice escape spot where you can go to get away from everything in the world. But I would be interested to know how it's affected you, whether you're in the toy world or not, because yeah, it's definitely interesting. But yeah, I really do want to make some more toys and get them out there. I've got Crush Room, we want to make some more Turgos. I've also got the Res Fubi, Mega Serops figure, and others that you've not even seen yet that I would love to make and be able to get out there. So I hope this doesn't last forever. Apparently, there are people that are trying to change it, and I hope that they can change it so that small creators like us can still put stuff out, and I can get my toys out to you lot who support what I do here. And I also understand that this is a very different video to what you're normally used to seeing from me here on Slimehouse. So if you're usually here for the toy making or the toy reviews or me showing you other cool work by independent creators, then fear not, because I've got some really good episodes lined up. I'm currently working on a really cool toy making episode right now. I just came back from a trip filming and covering some amazing stuff, some mind-blowing stuff that I can't wait to show you. Like, I've never been awestruck so many times over and over in the same few hours as I was when I covered this thing recently. But it's all top secret. I don't want to say too much about it, but I'm really looking forward to getting it out to you. So if you want to help support videos like that, like the toy making videos that I do, and just help put some money back into Slimehouse with all these tariffs that's going on and making it so that I can't put toys out, because some of that money was directly going towards this big project that I'm gearing up for in a couple of months that I can't wait to tell you about, because it's going to be amazing. Then I do have a Patreon if you want to help support. That's patreon.com/SlimehouseTV. You get exclusive access to my Discord, you get exclusive access to my STLs from time to time and some other perks as well, and primarily just helps me keep the lights on here at Slimehouse, helps me keep this brand going and making it bigger and better than ever. So that's all I've got to say today. Like I said, really interested to know what your thoughts are on it. And I just really appreciate you being here. With all the other stuff that you could be watching on YouTube, it really does mean a lot that you come back here on the regular and watch what I'm doing here at Slimehouse TV, hang out with me and check out what I'm doing. It really means a lot, and I hope to catch you in the next video. But until then, I'm Theo Kane. This has been, I suppose, a bit of a Toy Talk Tuesday episode. Whether it drops on a Tuesday or not, I don't know. But until the next video, I'm gone. Pow!